and just connecting. Some housekeeping. First of all, on this call, obviously we have Karen, and we'd like to thank Bubbe Fischer for taking care of the Charleston Challenge. First, we did our Maj makeover, which was great. We had several of the candidates, or guinea pigs as we call them, here again today. And this will be a really interesting way. It's really not necessarily, are you going to win a game? This is great because we just get to focus on how different we were talking about it with Karen the other day. During the course of the Charleston, you get 21 tiles. So that really makes a difference by the end of the Charleston, what you start with and what you end with. And for those of you who see in the box, Ray Meyer is here, if you want to wave, Ray. Sorry to call you out there, but we really appreciate those of you who don't have Wi-Fi and really enjoy practicing on the American Mahjong Practice app. You could thank Ray.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you, Ray. I love it.
He's the inventor.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ray.
So Ray was
Awesome
unbelievable.
job.
When we came up with the idea of the challenge, we wanted it to really be like a challenge that you're competing with the same tiles. Not that there's a contest, but so we went to Ray with the idea of how do we keep getting the same deal, and within, I don't know if it was 7 hours, he's like, okay, you got it. It's set up. So for those of you who have Apple devices, if you go on the left of your screen on the little wheel box and you scroll down, it says enter code. And as long as you and your friend enter the same code, you will continue to be getting the same tiles. And it's just a great way of seeing how different the hands can be by the time you finish the 21 tiles.
So tell them an example. So our code is dice. So if Darren and I put in dice, she and I get the same tiles.
Yeah.
And
So
then
that's one of the ones we'll do today.
Yeah.
So just some housekeeping. For those of you who haven't got your pre-order of your cards yet, we are selling the pre-order of the 2021 cards. And for every card that we pre-order, $2.50 is donated to the Alzheimer's Association. And you can go to modernmahjong.com. If you want to send in a check, that's great. If you have a large order, you want to Venmo us or Zelle, just send us a message. Or we do take credit card payment, but we just charge the processing fee on the top of that. So that is going on. Also, December 13th is starting our December tournament. We have had, this is our 5th tournament. It's really been great. We've had a great interest in it. And we started with just 4 rounds. Now we do both 4 and 8 rounds. And I don't even have to talk about the keychain because we already talked about the keychain. The other great things that we're really excited about is our Zoom schedule that's coming up. We have 3 really awesome events coming up. We have Tom Sloper speaking. That's next Wednesday. And if you have anything that you've just wanted to ask him, either type it in the comments and we'll write it down for next week, or send us an email. Those of you who don't know Tom, he is behind the website with his name, Sloperama, and he is pretty much the guru of all things Mahjong. So we're really excited about that. Then another guru of all things Mahjong, we're going to speak to Tony Watson. And for those of you who aren't into just playing, but into collecting and restoring, he makes sets that are not salvageable, playable. And he is able to recreate tiles, boxes, restore, just an unbelievable wealth of knowledge.
And he's doing us a favor because he's in the UK, so timing is weird, but he's going to be doing it for us, which is really nice.
And then Donna, you want to tell them about the vintage one?
Well, I don't have anything in front of me.
PBS.
Donna wasn't feeling good. She's feeling better, so I was speaking. So our next one after that is for virtual
video
vintage.
DVR it because I'm not sure I'm going to last much longer.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, thanks, Francis. So our virtual vintage, this is going to be, our first we called it show and tell, then we switched to virtual vintage, and this is going to be another one in our series. We have amazing sneak peeks into the sets of Theresa Bounassi, Barney Gallassio, Cari Kuprenas, Gregg Swain, and Toby Salk, and Wahrsager. And they just have such unique and incredible sets, and to be able to virtually play with them, and not play with them, but see them is such a treat, especially now that we're not really all of us playing. So Christine asked, are we planning to have a setup? So right now we do not have a pre-registration. This is a little like small business pitch. We do this, Donna and I do this on our dime because we think it's such a great way to keep everybody connected. We don't mind at all paying for our Zoom account and doing all that. We have a small business account in order to have more than 100 people, it's extremely more expensive. I mean, it just bumps it up a huge amount. So right now, hoping, I mean, we've never had over 100 people on a call. Right now, we're hoping 100 is enough. We're not going to have pre-registration. We're just going to have the first 100 people that get there. But if you miss it, now we can plug our YouTube channel.
Right.
Everything we do, Donna does a great job of recording all of these, and then we download them and add a little bit of information about them, and then we put them on our YouTube channel. So our YouTube.
A lot of people enjoy watching it later on YouTube on their own time and stuff. So it's nice.
So actually, if you go after this, obviously, if you go to our YouTube channel, you could watch the past virtual vintages that we've had. You could watch the Charleston challenges. We also have, before we got into all this, we had Why I Maj and Men That Maj, which are just great series about different Mahjong players.
Oh.
So I don't want to take Karen's time. We've already introduced her on several other chats, but for those of you who don't know her, she goes by Bubbe Fischer, and she's an author of wonderful Mahjong books. And she has graciously done these series with us. And take it away, Karen.
Well, as Heidi pointed out, something in bridge called duplicate bridge, where two players will get the exact same cards, and it's interesting to see how each of them would handle it. And I've always wondered, what would people with the exact same tiles do? I mean, I co-taught, and my co-teacher would do something totally different with her Charleston than I would. So that's where this concept came from, was because of this great design from this app. I'm doing a commercial for his app. If anybody doesn't already have American Mahjong Practice app, download it for your 2021 card. It's a great way to learn your new card. But what he's able to do, what Donna and Dara were just talking about, was he's made it so that we can have two people do the exact same starting tiles, and we're going to see what would person A do versus person B. So just like in a game show, you know, like in Family Feud, where at the final face-off, one person goes into a soundproof booth or backstage, we're going to go head to head. One of the people, I'm going to ask her to go take a little coffee break, and then she'll come back after, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. And when the Charleston is done, then we'll see what her choice would be. We just don't want her to see what what player A is doing, so that she goes her own way. So I've got 4 players. Raise your hands. It's Roz.
Oh, that's me.
And Sheila.
That's me.
And Heidi. And Arlene, where is Arlene? There she is. Okay.
Amazing.
So I'm just going to ask Roz and Sheila. On my screen, Roz and Sheila are right next to each other. So what I'm going to ask is, oh, beautiful. Dara's getting it all set up for us.
Mm-hmm.
She's loading the app up. I'm going to ask, Roz, do you mind going and taking a quick coffee break? Oh, you're on mute still.
Oh, let me unmute. Yeah, just unmute herself.
Yeah. Roz, you got to unmute. Top right-hand corner of
Here
your...
we go. Yes, I am perfectly happy to go wander out and get a drink, and I'll be right back. I mean,
Okay.
what do you think?
Well,
3
if
minutes?
you come back and we're still in the middle of it, just close your eyes.
Okay.
Excellent. Okay, and Sheila, are you ready?
Yes, sir. Yes, I am.
Okay,
I have
what
a
you're gonna...
funny thing on my screen. I have a strange thing on my screen.
What do you have?
I have Charleston right south drag through time.
That's
Yes.
it.
That's
That's
it.
Okay.
What you're going to be doing is, it's like Vanna on Wheel of Fortune. You're going to tell Dara which 3 tiles you want to pass.
Gotcha.
So Dara is going to be your Vanna. You're going to say, oh, I don't want the whatever.
The screen Zoom is a
So
little.
go ahead.
For those of you watching, if the tiles are being blocked by people's faces, you could actually click on that and move it away from the tiles. Just so
Because I'm only supposed to be watching.
yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so who's first, Karen?
So I
First one up is Sheila, and everybody else should be mute except for Sheila and Dara and maybe me and Donna.
So I
But
can be here.
Heidi,
It's okay to be here right now?
Yeah, you're
you
gonna
can be here, but just mute.
Okay, she's muted.
Okay, so Sheila's our player. And Sheila, you're going to be telling Dara what 3 you want to pass.
Dara, I want to get rid of 1 4 dot, 7 bam, and the east.
Interesting.
Oh,
Mhm.
why isn't it going?
Gotta go
Okay,
right
got it.
There you go.
somewhere.
And now Sheila, do you want me to put them in number order or can you see them like this?
I can see them pretty
Okay.
well. Okay, I want the 8 dot, the east, and the 5 bam.
Mm-hmm.
Okey-doke. Still want to get rid of that 4 dot, 8 dot, and the east.
So while you're doing this, Sheila, do you want to tell us what hands you're looking at?
I'm thinking of somewhere either 1, 3, 5, 3, 6, 9, but I'm still
Ah.
hanging on to the red.
Okay.
Gotcha.
What-
I
Okay.
play games sometimes with them. Okay, I want to get rid of the green, 2 dot. And I think I will hang on to, I'll get rid of the 1 crack right now.
Okay.
Okay, let me get rid of the 2 bam. East and the 8 dot. Sometimes I'm fast, so it drives me.
Yeah, no, you're making up your mind really well.
Yeah.
Very decisive.
Okay, I want to keep the 1 dot. And 9 dot, 8 dot, and 3 bam. I got a couple of things going there. Can we move the 1 dot to the front? Yeah, to put them into their suit, so I see what I'm kind of doing here. Okay. All right. It
Hmm.
doesn't look like I'm going to get rid of that 4 crack,
Good.
5 bam, and the red.
Okay.
Okay,
Interesting.
I want the
Okay,
3
so what do we think is the best hand
Uh,
that she's going for here? This was the final, right?
Yeah.
This was done?
Mhm.
Or is there still more passing?
No, no,
I
now
think-
she would be, now if we were playing a full game, she'd be ready to discard.
Right.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay, so what looks
Okay.
good to you from here? I mean, obviously it looks like you're going for the odds section, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
mhm, Yeah, definitely. So I get rid of the 8. Where are we now? We're with,
Done.
We're not going to go through the rest of the game. We're just sort of
Mhm.
looking at your options here.
okay. It
So
would
your
be,
best options,
Singles and pairs on the bottom right.
yeah, and I would still hold the 6, the 7 crack and the 9 crack because it may be 1, 3, 5, 5, 7, 9.
Right.
Well,
right? Or
the
even
9.
5, 7, 7, 9.
Right. Yeah. I would still hang on to the 6 just because I don't really need it to get rid of it right
So
now.
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a screenshot. Wait, hold on, if I can do
Right.
this while I'm,
Awesome.
oh, it worked. Okay, cool. Okay, so now, Karen, should I redeal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and then, so you'll start at the very beginning again.
Yeah.
mhm, Yeah.
So are you
that's
doing
what I would do.
replay?
Yep.
Wow, this looks familiar. Okay. No,
Now
that's
it's-
very interesting. Well, Roz isn't back yet, so I'm just going to say I had no idea what you were starting with. So the fact that you were getting rid of that middle pair with the 3, 4,
oh, that's
5,
what I was thinking. The
I was
pair
confused. But
forward.
no,
Yeah.
you had your own plan and it worked out pretty well. I think that the 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 could come in.
Mhm.
You had dots in all, all 5 numbers were covered already.
We have a friend that plays, and if she gets nothing, she has this made up word, pluckies. Like, this is at least a good first deal. Like, there's plenty to work with in this deal.
Yeah, no jokers, but
Yeah.
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 It always helps.
well, I hope Roz comes back.
I can
I
only
pass
see,
the chart.
excuse me,
I usually
I can
pass the
only see
chart
11
pretty fast.
tiles. I can't
this
see
is
the whole
not-
screen.
3, 4,
How do
5,
I
6,
get rid of these faces?
So on the very
Top right
We're all
corner.
14 tiles.
dots, and you should be able to drag the faces to the bottom of your screen.
Okay.
There are 14 tiles.
Do you
Oh,
see
to
that?
the
Can I
bottom.
watch what she does?
Or
Okay.
go, yeah,
Okay,
go to speaker view maybe, yeah. Okay.
I didn't understand. Fine.
Okay,
Oh,
good.
good. You can, Elaine, you're good now?
Yes, I am.
Perfect. Too bad we don't have Roz's phone number. We can call her back in.
Do I? I can
Did she go to
Facebook her.
Starbucks for coffee?
That's
Not
fine.
back.
Sheila, you need your own TV show.
Oh, I know. Sheila. Hey, Roz is back. Yay.
Yay, okay.
Am I back in good time here?
Perfect.
Okay, now Sheila ended it with the heavenly hand. She had a full mahjong by the end of her Charleston. It was breathtaking.
Don't possibly tell me that.
No.
All right.
No pressure.
Thank you,
No pressure.
Bubbe.
So you just want me to pick 3?
Yep.
Yeah, as I was explaining, Dara is your Vanna White. You tell her what you want to get
Okay.
rid of.
So I just say which ones I'm going to pass.
Exactly.
I'm going to pass East and 7 Bam and 8 Dot.
And then you tell me, I'll start putting them in, you know, the order I would, but if you want me to move them around anyway, let me know.
That looks good. Okay, well, let's pass 5 Dot. Or I'm sorry, 5. Excuse me, didn't mean that. Yes, 5 Bam and green and 1 crack.
Okay.
Thank you.
I got a pair of these.
Let's go with 8 Dot. Boy. 6 crack. 2 Dot. Okay. 9 Dot. 2 Bam. Pass one of those East.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Shoot. Okay. 4 Bam. 8 Dot. 7 crack. Okay, 1 crack. 7 Dot. 5 Bam.
Well,
East. 2 Bam. 6 crack.
All right.
okay. So,
Where am I on
The
this?
end
How
of the
many-
Charleston?
so
No,
the,
no, yeah, that was it.
Okay.
so Dara, screenshot that, right? Or no?
Mhm. So interesting to see how different it comes out.
Right.
Well, it's certainly not a heavenly hand.
No, Sheila's was nowhere near one either, don't worry.
So wait, so you were thinking consecutives, or what were you thinking?
I was thinking of something with the dots, either consecutives, like, you know, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or if I could accumulate enough flowers, perhaps 3, 4, 5, and or if anything developed for 1, 3, 5, something like along that order. And at the beginning, I was thinking maybe something would come of the cracks, but it didn't seem to be as fruitful as the dots. So I, at some point, kind of let that go. And I hated to pass a dragon, but I see I got it back. And I probably let more wins go than I'd prefer to. And so that's what I have. Now, I've got no jokers. So there's always a consideration of taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, seeing if I could play a singles and pairs hand eventually. It doesn't look super strong now, but it's definitely a thing I would consider looking for.
Roz, it's interesting. You said not as many wins as I like. I noticed that you kept the East as long as you wanted to, and then you finally broke them up. Is wins something you try to collect?
Occasionally. And I certainly never put that past me. If I get enough, I'll start grabbing them, mostly because people I play with don't usually.
Right. Well, one thing we learned from Karen in one of our past Charleston is when she was working with Helen, is she was saying a lot of the things that we're learning as habits now, not playing with people in person, but playing online, we're going to have to undo. And I know I have a terrible habit when I play on real Mahjong. I know if I pass tiles I don't need across, 85, 90% of the time I get them back, all three. So it's bad because I shouldn't, I can't do that.
That's not going to happen.
They're not going to give them back to me.
Yep.
So Karen, would you have passed differently? I mean, what would you have done?
Can we try it one more time with me?
I would love to.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to ask, the 4 dots, we kept them for a really long time, and I was curious, just because it was a pair, people kept them?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me,
Like, because I
had
thought
it
there was
okay.
a lot of odds coming in. I'm thinking eventually you gotta, you know, go away. But I guess, all right, let's see. I like this.
Because there were a lot of dots too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try not to go based on what I've already seen. I'm just, let's see what happens.
Okay.
I'm gonna get rid of the 8 dot, the 7 bam in the East.
See, why would you get rid of the 7? Oh, because I'm thinking I'm going to keep all the odds. You're not thinking that way.
No, I'm looking at
no
consecutive
odds.
runs.
I gotcha. Yeah.
Okay, so 1 crack East, 5 bam. Actually, no, keep the 5 bam. Get rid of the 9 crack.
Hmm.
Okay, put the 2 dot over. And it looks like you can get rid of the East, the 8 dot, and the other 9 crack. I'm going for the middle of the number line.
Oh, I see 3, 4, 5, 3, 3, 4,
2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah,
Or
and then
4,
maybe
5,
6,
or 4, 5, 6, 7.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't need the 9 dot. Now, yeah, let's get rid of the 5 bam and the green. And I'm keeping the flower just for the hell of it.
Yeah, that was my thinking too.
Get rid of the 9 crack. That's never gonna help me. And the red. And no, that 8 dot's not gonna help me either. So get rid of the 8 dot. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. So I'm getting rid of anything high. I'm getting rid of the 7, the 6, and the 7.
Yeah, I see where you're going.
Because I'm pretending that that these people I'm playing against are clueless. Okay, so we get 2 bam. Okay, so 2, 3, 4, 5 might work very nicely. It's a start to it anyway.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right,
And
so
that's
get rid
all
of
the
6
same
crack.
hand. Wow.
We definitely don't need the 6 crack.
Right.
No.
So it's either 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 2, 3, 4, 5.
Mm-hmm.
Ay. I'll get rid of the 1 dot.
Why? Interesting.
Oh, good. So 3, 4.
Nice.
So,
Yeah, this is not bad. Is this my final?
yeah, that was it.
Okay,
And
so we got a
really
couple
different.
options
Oh
here.
my God.
So
It is
we'll
different than the other 2.
post later
So
tomorrow.
different.
As a post on Mahjong Community, we'll share the different screenshots of how different the individual. Oh, here, actually, I should really take a picture of what the original pass look like.
You mean the original, what the
Original
deal is? Right. The
Just
deal.
to show how different it could be with the different 21 tiles. Oh, very
Right,
good.
and I'm not one to play that consecutive run hand that much, but there's a girl I play with that loves it. The concealed one, the 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
She
Oh,
loves
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But you know, nothing was coming in beautifully, but it's the start of a couple of different consecutive run options. So
You picked up a soap at the end of that.
I know.
That was
I
nice.
know. That was the first time we saw that the whole time of the passing.
Yeah.
So it's good to see that the passing, good job, Ray. It's not always, the bots aren't always exactly the same. That's good to see.
Okay, so
other
we're,
ways to look at it, that's all. Do our other contestants want to try? We got Heidi and Arlene.
yeah, so we're gonna mute everybody except for the people that are playing and Karen, so.
Okay, so wait, which Heidi is it? The Heidi that's waving.
Oh, no.
Heidi Sue?
Oh, there's two Heidis? That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Who's the one I've been
Heidi,
communicating with?
California we need.
Okay.
Okay,
That's Heidi's from,
there she is.
Heidi Sue from California.
There she
No,
is.
Right, and Arlene.
Heidi
Yes.
Sue is from New York.
Okay,
And
I'm
also
gonna-
Heidi Sue.
we have Heidi from California.
Heidi
Oh,
from
that's
California.
hysterical.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so
So now
again,
put in-
who wants to be the one that goes out?
Someone has to leave the room, just,
Heidi, do you mind going away for 4 minutes? Just remember to come back.
just a few minutes.
Okay, Arlene, are you ready?
Donna, you can still see my screen, right?
Yes,
Okay.
Okay, so this is going to be a different
different
A
set
different-
of tiles.
deal.
Yeah. Mhm.
Ooh, they got a joker.
Oh, lucky you, Arlene. Are you ready? Nice.
Who's playing?
Arlene Stone.
Oh, okay.
There you are,
Oh.
Arlene.
Okay, and you're going to just tell her what 3 to pass.
Okay.
Go through the whole Charleston.
Holy cow.
Mhm.
Oh, man. No. 3, 3, 6. I don't want the 7 dot. Holy cow. 1, 3, the soap. 1. Holy moly. 1 east. Oh, I know. Okay. And the two bam. Oh, yeah.
Ooh, look at that.
Yeah, keep the 1s. Dump the east. The 6 crack. No, hold the 6 crack. The 9 dot. 1, 1. 6, 3.
So
The 3 bam.
I don't know if you want to comment now or save it till the end, but Karen, would you, if you had no reason to keep the east, would you get rid of 2 if you?
It's so early in the Charleston that could be a mistake, but if I'm sure I'm not using them, I try to break them up. I try to split them up, but
No.
again, it's so early in the Charleston, it's hard to know what everybody else is passing.
But wouldn't you maybe be giving someone a hand if you?
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying I probably would try to break it up and not give them together. If I saw that winds were going around like crazy and it was like towards the end, then I would definitely be more willing to pass 2 at the same time. But right now it's too early to know what other people are playing, so I wouldn't pass them together. But later on I might.
Get rid of the 3 bam. Thank you.
Wow.
Oh, keep the soap.
Nice.
Dump the 8,
Mhm.
the norths, and the 3 crack.
Okay. Are you looking at like numbers and jokers? Is that what you're thinking?
No, dragons, yeah.
Oh, right, like numbers and dragons. Good.
The 2 crack,
Mhm.
the east, and the 7 bam.
Good.
Borscht. The 3 at the end, the 2, the 8, and the north.
That
Same thing.
That
The
he's
east,
coming back.
the east, the 8, and the 9.
Not
Yeah.
very cooperative.
No, the east, the 7, and the 5. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was it, so.
Well, it's a start. And I can see you're keeping your options open for which of the leg numbers it's going to be.
Right.
Because it could be the 6s, it could be the 1s. But
Right.
it's not a bad start. You
No,
got 3 of your 4 dragons.
What I was thinking at the beginning was the 4 soaps, 4 reds, and the northeast, west, and south.
Ah.
But I like that hand, but
You know what
Yeah.
other hand sometimes looks far away, but then when you, is the flower single 2468 dragon, single 2468 dragon, and the singles and pairs.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, sometimes that one just kind of pops up when you're not really.
Maybe Heidi's going to go that way
That's what I was thinking.
when she comes back.
Sorry, let me get rid of this so she doesn't see it.
Did you take a picture?
Yeah, I took.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's an interesting collection to start with. Having 2 Easts to start is definitely.
but it took me half an hour to decide what I was doing.
Heidi, there she is. Welcome back. Unmute yourself.
Oh, I'm asking her to unmute. Okay.
Good.
All right, good.
I don't think I'm going to be as fast as those other very nice players.
It's okay. You see, you got a joker.
Oh, yes, I do. And I see a
Lucky you.
flowers. It's so exciting. Okay, hold on.
Okay, while Heidi's making up her mind, I'm
Okay.
just going to tell you all that we average on a deal, we should average 2/3 of a joker and 2/3 of a flower on every deal. So there'll be deals where you don't get any, and there'll be deals where you get 3. So just so you know, when you say, oh, I never get flowers or I never get jokers, yes, you do. Over time, you will get them.
Yeah.
And it's nice that she got 1 of each in this deal.
Okay, so I'm going to pass the 7 dot, the 6 crack, and an east. Fabulous.
And if you want me to set it up differently, just let me know.
Oh, okay. So I'm just looking at the ones that match the dragons. So I would, in my hand, I would move the dragons over to the ones, and I'd probably group the ones together. So I think I'm going to pass the 6 dot, the 9 dot, and the east.
Huh. Okay.
Okay, so thank you. So I'll pass the 8 crack, the east, and the 3 bam.
Okay.
Thank you. 7 bam, 6 crack, and north.
Good.
Mm.
Hmm.
So, the 8 crack, the east, and
3 crack.
the 2 bam, I think. No help. East 6 dot, 8 dot.
No, those are on the wrong end of the numbers.
Yeah. The east 7 dot, 5 bam.
And that was it.
And that's the end of
And
it.
then that's it. Okay.
So what are you hoping for? What is
I guess I was looking at the like numbers for ones with the matching dragons, or the 1, 2, 3 with the matching dragon.
right?
Was
That's
that
an option too.
I don't know. That was what I was thinking, but
No, that
you
was
know.
exactly the same thing that that's the same kind of hand that Arlene was going for too.
So I don't know if it's on my
But yeah,
screen.
what's great about the app is Dara's showing, it'll tell you the
How
good
close
hand-
you are.
the hands that you could be doing with those tiles.
Right, and you're
nice. Nice.
that's the best option so far. It looks like.
Like number.
So for those of you
so-
that haven't listened to Karen talk before, she was saying how when she goes to tournaments, she literally keeps a sheet of paper of the tiles she was dealt, how many flowers, how many jokers, what she ended up with, what hand she was going for, and different statistics. I'm so curious. I wonder when I'm not confident that I'm going to win, because you're never confident you're going to get the tiles you need. But
Sure.
when I only need like 4 or 5 or a certain number after the Charleston, I feel more invested in that I'm going to win this than more kind of watching the tiles go by. I wonder if there's any kind of how many tiles you need at the end of the Charleston versus winning.
Wow. If I'm not playing East, I will start keeping that stat too. That's just too many stats all at once if I'm also East.
But do you know what I'm saying?
That is,
I think that depending how far away you are, and then I think it also really depends on if you're doing concealed or not. Because if you can't call it, you know.
right.
So, all right.
Well,
so,
the other thing that I've said is even when I think I'm playing a certain hand at the end of the Charleston, I've changed my hand 50% of the time.
so are you going to
Say
play?
I'm 5 tiles away, I might be playing a totally different hand by the end. Even though I'm 5 tiles away from winning this hand, I may end up doing something totally different.
Right.
So that those last 2 Charlestons came out very differently, which is
Yeah.
Does somebody want to try something different?
well, you're
Does
going
it-
to do it. aren't you?
I am.
No.
So,
Sheila wants to try it again?
sure.
Okay.
See, I would have played that entirely different. I would have played it, gone with the singles and pairs.
Okay, let's see what you do. Go ahead.
Rid of the East. 1 crack, 7 dot. Hmm. 1 crack, 9 dot, and East. 8 crack. No, give me back my 8 crack. 3 crack, 1 dot, and the 3 bam. Okay. Now get up. Put those little soapies together. Okay. Put the
Sorry,
red
I
with the,
use my phone. So.
yeah, 7 bam. 2 bam. And the East. Okay, 1 dot, 9 bam, 5 bam. Get rid of those things. Not working out the way I want. Okay.
Is that the first South we've seen?
Yeah, 1 dot, 1 crack, 9 dot, and the South. And nobody likes me. 7 dot, 3 dot, 5 bam.
Yeah, you're not getting your evens.
Nope, not at all.
Oop.
All the 5 crack.
Nope, that was it.
Okay, that's, yeah.
Yeah. I'd get rid of the 1 dot, the north, and the 9 bam. At
Oh, you
that
know,
point.
that was
We're
it.
done.
We
That
finished.
Charleston's done. Oy.
Yeah, but then I would go with the run, you know,
Mhm.
see
It
what
was
happens.
interesting to see how different they comes out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Amazing.
We have any more deals?
Oh,
Well, I mean, we could do it as many times as.
No, I mean a totally different third setup.
It's
Oh, yeah.
amazing.
Any, as long as you call a friend and say, put in the word Karen, it'll be the same hand.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
not programmed to any specific word. I just put in
Mhm.
dice and modern mahjong just because it's words that, you know, mean things to us. But we could do any word.
Okay, my issue is I don't have an Apple product, so it doesn't work for me,
And
sadly.
I don't have an Apple. I couldn't do it either, unfortunately.
Uh,
Oh, well,
did
see,
any of the,
if you
ooh,
do
2 jokers.
Karen,
Lucky,
two jokers.
lucky you.
So who's gonna play this one?
Okay. Heidi from New York.
Okay, Heidi,
Hey,
see what you got.
I'm gonna go for the ones. So I'll get rid of the South, the 9 crack, and a 3 dot.
don't get rid of the South. Oh,
Oh,
ooh,
it's here's the flower.
Ah,
I'll do the 8 crack, the green, and the 7 crack. I'll take hints and suggestions if you'd like. It's okay.
Nah.
But then again, you have 1, 3, 5s, a lot of them. So I'll get rid of the West and the 2 6s.
Oh,
Ivan. Oh, definitely the South.
You know what hand, I mean, that 1, 3, 5 with the 3s in the middle.
Yes.
Yee. But they're all pairs, so that's hard.
I know, but I go for pairs sometimes.
I know. Well, it's a toss-up between that one or just all ones.
Great. So what do you want to do
So-
with the South, Heidi? I mean,
I commit Harry Carry.
I get rid of the 5 crack and the 3 dot.
That's
Hope
exactly
you
what I
win.
was gonna say. 5 crack and 3 dot. I'm going for the ones.
Yeah, at
Okay.
that point.
Let's see what happens. Oh,
2,
Keep-
9, 6.
oh.
But I'm gonna keep.
Ooh,
Hold
the hell,
on, hold
that's too
on.
bad.
Give me back the 2 and throw
Yeah.
the 5,
Right,
just in case of 1, 2, 3,
that's right.
whatever.
That's
Yeah.
right. Uh-huh.
7, 8, 9.
Good.
Mhm. Good.
Aye.
Karen, you don't have a poker face.
I told you I don't. I first person to admit it. I have the worst poker face in the world. That's why I play Mahjong.
She's right, but I would keep just what she has and get rid of the last 3.
That's exactly what I'm gonna do, Sheila.
Oh, look
Okay.
at that.
See?
Keeping that 1.
Wow.
Sweet.
Put that 2 back in there.
Yeah.
So you don't get rid of it.
here, I'll take it.
Okay, definitely the 5 and the 6.
I know we're done.
We're at the end of it.
Oh, we're
but
done.
That's
Oh,
what you're working
fabulous.
with. That's what you're working with.
That was good.
Very nice.
That's not
Now-
bad.
Good start.
Now, Gail had said she was looking at a quint. Do you feel like playing it, Gail? Where are you, Gail?
Oh, I never win
Gail
on
doesn't
queen.
want to play it. Okay. I'm going to play it then if nobody else wants to.
Okay.
She would play it like
Okay.
I would play it.
I'm ready.
This year, it's flowers, dragons, and a single number. So I'll
Right.
keep that going. So I don't need wins. But there's
No.
also the consecutive numbers. I mean, the 5 1s, and then a pair in the third
Right.
suit. So I'm looking at both of those quint options. So I'm getting rid of the 8, the 9. Right, and the South is fine. Obviously, I'm keeping that. I'm keeping that flower because I might need it. Who knows? 7 West, 6 dot. Ooh, 5 crack, 6 dot. 3 bam.
Really? Okay.
Mm.
The 3 bam comes back. South 5 crack. 3 bam. Okay, the 2 dot. No, I'm keeping the 2 dot. I like it.
What do you like about it?
Because it might be 5 1 bams, 5 1 cracks, and then a pair of 2 and a pair of 3s.
Yeah,
That's that second quint hand.
right. Yeah.
So let's get rid of the 4 crack, the north. And I think I'm jumping ship from the other one. Let's pass the green.
Ugh.
7 9 7. Get rid of those new 3. Okay, we've got that 1. Are we at the end now?
Yep.
Okay, so how close is this to the coin? Oh, there's also that one.
Right.
one?
The different.
1, 2, 3.
Right, we don't have a 2. Oh, we have 1 2 crack.
Well,
Can I
one is
ask-
better than none.
You only need a pair.
Can I ask a question? When you start the Charleston, I don't know if I'm doing this wrong, and I'm a newbie. I've only been playing 2 years. I sort of put all my odds on one side, all my evens on the other, and then if I have a consecutive, I say, okay, so do I want? is that like the wrong way to look at it? And then I look at the 3, 6, 9s. I said, oh, well, like sometimes I don't know where to start. Like, how do you separate your tiles? I do odds and evens, but I don't know if that's right.
Okay,
could
I will
be.
tell you, I will tell you that if that's the way your mind works, go with it. The most traditional way to do it is flowers on the left, and then each suit in its numerical order, and then your wins and your dragons on the right. But if
That's
your mind works better with evens and odds than with suits.
No, I set it up like that, and then I look and I say, okay, let me put do I have more odds or evens? And then I say, okay, I only have 1, 2, 1, 8, and I'm like, I'm not getting anywhere, and they don't fit in with the other, I want to say consecutives, and I get rid of them, and I start to build either an odd or an even hand, or
Well,
a 3,
that's only-
6, 9.
The problem with odds and evens doing it that way is that you're only looking at 2 sections of the card.
I know.
You know, and that sort of limits you. I feel like if you're setting it up the way that I first mentioned, you're seeing more different things going on. It is going to take practice. I mean, like you said, you've only been playing 2 years, but you want to be able to look at all the different tiles. 3, 6, 9 is a weird one that doesn't come to mind easily for most people.
It does.
I mean, you would never just set up your 3, 6, 9s to start out because, you know, 70% of the tiles, just even in the number tiles, they don't even have anything to do with 3, 6, 9, or sorry, 60%. But what I'm saying is the easiest way to look at it is within each suit. And then rather than even and odd, I usually look at the number line for consecutive runs, or then when I'm also looking at number line, it shows me like numbers. Like I'll say, oh, look, I've got a whole bunch of 4s here. Like I'm in the middle of the number line. It looks like I've got a lot of 4, 5, 6s or 7, 8, 9s. That's just the way I do it. There are other people, I'm sure, that look at it totally differently. But evens and odds, the only problem I have with that is that's only 2 sections of the card. So it's just sort of, to me, it's not the most intuitive, but if that's the way your mind works.
Go for it.
Because you know what you pick out. I mean, I'm pretty good. I'm not bad. I mean, you guys have been playing for 100 years. No, you know, but you know, I also look at 2, 4, 6. Like you immediately see the 2, 4, 6, 8, and then you're like, oh, if I get 1 dragon, maybe I can do that 2, 4, 6, 8 dragon. Like you see those things right away when you're in the odds and even. That's
sure,
how
of course.
That's how my mind works. I don't know.
No, that's fine. That definitely sounds like it's how your mind works. But what I try to say in my book and in my blog and everything, try to play the whole card, because if I know that it seems like you really love certain sections of the card, but you're sort of limiting yourself. The more hands you're familiar with, the more likely it is that you'll find a really good fit. It sounds like, you know, if you've only like odds and evens, you're sort of forcing every deal into one of those hands.
Yeah. No, but sometimes the odds and even, or a consecutive, that's what I feel like. I rarely play singles and pairs because I love a joker and I don't want to ever give up on joker.
Sure.
You know, and I do like the wins too. And if I have a lot of the same number, if I have the east or the west with the odd, and then I'm like, oh, well, this could work. So, but sometimes I get so caught up in so many ideas, I don't know which one to go for.
You know what? Yeah. Some people actually start with a more basic card where they just say, okay, I am only going to work on these 6 hands today. And they just sort of familiarize themselves with that. So that's one option for you, is to not distract yourself with the 60 different hands. Another is to not necessarily hone in on one hand, but like what you've been doing with what I call the neighborhoods, the sections.
Yeah, groupings, I call
them.
Right,
but like I said, since you're only doing evens and odds, I feel like you need to learn the other sections too. So maybe try to do a little bit more of like numbers once in a while, or look for, like I said, the 3, 6, 9, which doesn't come intuitively, but sort of familiarize yourself with it more, because it's really so important to play the whole card.
Karen, we had a few comments.
We have a few questions, yeah.
Okay.
One, and I know we've talked about this before, but Bonnie was asking, what's a good win rate? And she said 25 is average, but I know you remind us, don't forget the wall games as well.
20%. 20% is average, but honestly, that's over time and with well-matched players. When you're a rookie, I mean, unless you're like incredibly lucky or brilliant, you are not going to be winning 50% of the time as a rookie. You work your way up to 20%. And there'll be days when you don't win at all, and there'll be days when you're super hot and it's great. But if you're winning less than 20%, then there needs to be some attention paid to either starting to call sooner or being more analytical in your Charleston. There's just ways to get yourself up to the 20%. So 25%, yeah, 25% is average if you're never a wall game, but there's going to be wall game.
And you've
Not
also
online. Online's different.
Yeah, Michelle had a good question, because I was thinking the same thing. When you have a pair of soaps, would you
I would.
automatically try and collect twos in case of your hand?
Oh, yeah,
I would.
Yeah,
definitely.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
There was a pair of soaps, but there weren't any twos at that point. So you had a bunch of wins, but that wouldn't have helped.
Yeah. I love to, if I get a lot of soaps, I always want to get the News 2020. That's like what I go for. And then the first soap that comes out, I abandon that hand. Play over. Can I ask, if you have one joker, two jokers, when do you abandon the singles and pairs? Because sometimes it's like, I have a lot of them and then I pick up a joker and I'm like, oh, I don't want to throw a joker away. Like, what's the statistics? Like, what do you do?
It depends how close you are.
Every lady one like this, yeah.
No, it's a familiar problem, and it depends how far along the game has come. Like, are you waiting on one tile, or are you like halfway through and you're still not that close? I would hold on to a joker throughout the game. I wouldn't throw it away right away unless you're so close that that's the only tile you have left to throw. Because you could always switch your hand.
When do you abandon? Yeah, exactly. When do you abandon the hand? That's what I want to know. Sometimes I just stay too long and I'm thinking, now I'm, there's only 18 tiles left and all my tiles are out and I screwed up.
What's the worst thing that happens? There's another deal coming.
I lost.
Right, another game,
Yeah.
another game.
Another game.
Does anyone
Sheila
have
knows.
any other questions for Karen or Ray, who's here?
I had a great hand.
I
the
wanted
other
to
day.
ask, if you come out of the Charleston and you have no flowers and you have no dragons, do you immediately, well, I guess I immediately try and go for a 3-3-4-4 or 3-4-3-4 pattern with the numbers?
Sure.
And sometimes you'll just accidentally walk into a pile of flowers or something, but sometimes you don't.
Right. It's good to have a backup plan, especially if you're doing a 3-3-4-4. You call for one of those Kongs, and then if you suddenly start picking up some flowers, great. You've got some flexibility to maybe switch your hand, but at least you've made your way towards your original hand. That's why I always say be a little more aggressive, call for it, because if you don't call for it when it first comes out, you're going to need to use a joker later.
Right.
And your statistical explanation of 3-6-9s tells me why I lose those 3-6-9s a lot.
I can't wrap my mind around it. It's a section it's one of my least favorite sections. I just never win when I play it.
So, Karen, give your advice on when you would suggest stopping the Charleston. What goes into your decision there?
I did. I'll tell you when.
This must be somebody that doesn't know me, whoever asked this. I talk about something called Charleston karma. And Charleston karma is when you stop the Charleston too soon. If you stop the Charleston because you couldn't make up your mind and you're like, I could go, I've got 7 this way and 8 this way and I just can't decide, you're not going to win. It's karma that you you lost the chance of seeing 9 more tiles, and so you've actually hurt yourself by stopping the Charleston. So
I did a great one.
it takes a lot for me to stop the Charleston. Even if I've already got 11 tiles, I'll sometimes be able to rationalize, even if I'm going for singles and pairs, closed hand, I will still rationalize a way to continue the Charleston by remembering that it probably will come back to me in the rest of the passing because it's been going around. Or with flowers, if there's flowers that are part of your singles and pairs, your chances are very good, or they're better anyway, of getting another flower than they are of getting any other tile because there's 8 of them. So unless you are going for a singles and pair and you are literally 1 or 2 tiles away, and like I said, even then if it's a flower, you can be flexible. Unless it's like that, I always keep the Charleston going. I very rarely stop the Charleston. Remember, if you're going for an open hand and you're using pungs and kongs, you've got 3s of a kind and 4s of a kind, and you've already got your 3 of a kind, go ahead and pass that because it's very likely the other person doesn't want it. They're going to throw it and you can call for it because you're playing an open hand, so you can call for it. You don't have to stop the Charleston. You've got that flexibility of keep on going and see what else turns up. You're passing up seeing 9 more tiles by stopping. And in fact, sometimes 12 more tiles, because some people, when you stop a Charleston, are like, oh, I'm passing you 0. You know, they will be like, I'm not passing you a thing. So you're really, unless you're absolutely sure, you're really making it harder on yourself by stopping a Charleston.
I played with some women that played, I think she played 10 times a week. She had 10 regular games a week. And she had an electric table, she has one, and they all come to her house, and the games were, and when somebody stopped the Charleston, she said, how many would you like? And I felt like I was in like a slow motion movie, looking, they all looked at me like to see what I would say, and I said none, and they went, oh, shoo. Because if I passed the woman that stopped, I think they would have lost it. And they
Well,
actually,
Can I say what happened to me, Karen?
Sure.
The other night I was playing in the tournament, and after the Charleston, I stopped the Charleston because after the first Charleston I had 2 flowers, I had 2 3 dots, I had 2 5 dots, I had 1 joker, I had a 5 crack, a 7 crack, and 2 9 cracks. I stopped the Charleston. I ended up needing 2 tiles after that Charleston. I asked for 1 tile, she passed me the 1 dot that I needed. I was set for the 7 crack.
Wow.
And it took me such a long time to make it, but I did make that hand.
Well, it's hard with a closed hand. You were very brave to.
But here I'm sitting, I'm set after the Charleston.
Amazing.
And it took me, I said, well, I'll never, every 7 was thrown except that 1 7 crack.
Oh my God, your heart must have been racing.
My heart was pounding.
Aaron, do you get asked a lot of etiquette questions? Because when people were saying, you know, karma about passing, the group that I played with, they actually had a rule that the bettor had to confirm that you could not pass 3.
Really?
Like,
Wait, what do you mean?
They would not, they could only stop the Charleston, not if they were deciding between 2, you know, the rules provide you could do it for any reason. You could just,
exactly.
Their house rule was that you could only stop it if you had less than 3 tiles to pass from a hand. And
so that's a table rule about passing, you're saying?
Yeah. And that's very drastic, but has anybody ever asked you, like there's some players that, you know, we see all the time, they stop at every other game and people get angry. So
Sure.
is there advice you give people to just say like, it's not helping?
I would talk to them about what they're missing out on by stopping. I try to be rational with them, but honestly, I think you can't brute force tell them you must keep the Charleston going, because that's the whole point, is anybody has the right to stop it for any reason. I mean, sometimes I get dog in the manger-ish. I'm like, oh, I hate to pass a soap. I don't want to pass a soap, and I don't like to be forced into that situation. So I could imagine someone stopping a Charleston so they didn't have to pass a good tile.
Right.
But again, the whole idea that you're stopping it, you are limiting yourself. You're your own worst enemy by stopping and seeing 9 to 12 extra tiles. So you really have to have a darn good reason for stopping, I think. But I wouldn't force somebody to say, no, you got to keep going. You can't. It's just the official rules. I wouldn't make a table rule about something that fundamental to the game.
Right. So
That's
we
just
got
me.
one question from Michelle, and I'm sorry if somebody read it already. When you get a broken hand of consecutive numbers, highs and lows, and you have to make a discard, what do you do? What do you discard with gaps on both sides?
Ooh,
That's a guess.
I wish we had that old hand. There used to be the 1s and 9s, and there was one with 2s and 8s. I loved those. They were like split personality hands. I love those. High numbers and low numbers. That's an excellent question. It really depends on the situation.
I think it's like blackjack. You go the same way every time. Half the times you're right, half the time you're wrong, but I'm probably not, right?
I don't know. I think seeing what's on the table would matter to me. I think that I'd also be thinking that, you know, when you're doing, for instance, a consecutive run, it's harder to get this year's card. It's harder to get the pair on the bottom. So I'd probably throw those earlier, the lower numbers, because the high numbers, they can, you know, it's a 3 of a kind or a 4 of a kind, and that's much easier. So I'd probably throw the lower numbers early in the game because nobody's ready to call for them. Again, depends what's on the table, depends where you are in the game. I mean, your scenario, I'd have to see it in action to tell you specifically what I do in any one situation. That's an interesting question though. And I wish they'd bring back that hand, that 2-8 dragon and the 1-9 dragon. That was a great hand.
Have you ever written a letter to the Mahjong League? They will take suggestions of hands. We did this.
Will they really?
Oh, yeah. You have to put it in writing. It can't be an email. It has to be
Put in writing, and we sent them a letter.
email.
Okay.
Suggestions of hands, and we're looking
I will send them my favorite 60 hands. How's that?
I absolutely love the hands from a few years ago that you needed 6 of the same tile, but it was broken up into 3 and 3.
Yeah.
That was nice.
I remember
Yeah.
that.
That was like Joker City. You know, you could like,
Yeah.
trade around. That was great.
Yeah, that was great.
Can I ask one more question? I noticed nobody passed a flower in that exercise. Is that a rule of thumb? Never pass a flower if you don't have to? What is the?
Why should you? If it made you
Right, why
made
would
you flowers in one point, why would you want to give it away if you?
Exactly.
I mean,
Well,
the way
so-
I would answer that, Elena, is if I can keep the flowers, I keep them. If it
Okay.
comes to the point where I'm 2 away and the flower is clearly not going to be in it, I'm not going to not pass it. Now, other people might just give 1 on the last right or what and keep the if I know I'm not going to use it, I'd rather gamble to get a tile I need. But that just depends
Okay,
on
right.
your personality. Are you?
I usually keep my flowers until I can't keep them anymore because it'll ruin something that I'm going for, and I'd rather get another than only pass 2 or 3. So I was wondering, is that the right strategy?
On the whole, I wouldn't say
Okay.
it's like 100% of the time, but I'd say a good 90% of the time, it's smart to keep them until later. Don't pass them if you can help it.
Mhm.
So, well, thank you all for joining us today. We thought that was a really interesting way just to
Thank
see.
you.
Thanks for
Thank
helping.
you.
I really
Thank you,
appreciate our
Karen.
volunteers.
Oh, this was so much fun. Thank you for having
Loved
me.
Thank you very
it.
much. It was
Anytime.
it was super helpful for a newbie.
Thank you.
Good.
Oh,
So we
good.
have great events
Happy
coming.
Hanukkah.
Happy
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 Hanukkah.
Hanukkah, everybody. I hope I'll hear from you soon after the
Yes.
tournament.
Yes, if anybody is a single and interested in being an individual player, interested in being teamed up for our tournament, feel free to email us because we have Sheila and some other people that are looking for other players on the 4 round and the 8 round. So let us know.
And thank you, Ray, for being here.
Thank you, Ray, for
Oh,
joining.
yeah, this is great.
You're welcome.
Oh, he
Glad it all
speaks.
worked.
He speaks.
Great. I love the app. It's a great app. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
All right,
Good.
have a great
This is
night.
one of the benefits of COVID is that we get to see each other.
Yes.
You know, seeing some of your names on
It's
different
nice.
platforms. And Karen, this is like, and Dara and Donna, you're like famous. This is so fun.
Famous girl.
Famous in my world, famous in my Mahjong world. Love Mahjong.
Yes.
Anyway, thanks for letting me
All do.
participate. It
Heidi, we all do.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
All
you.
right, good to see everybody.
Have a good night.
Happy
Bye.
Hanukkah.
Thank you.